And basically their endgame ability allows them to take that Imperial Decree, write it on a piece of paper, tie it around their schlong, and flop that bad boy on the table for all to see. Today we get another Legend of the Five Rings RPG class guide to Samurai School. This time we're heading over to the GM kit. Tortoise Minor Clan is what we're talking about today. The Kasuga Smuggler School, courtier type, although in general Tortoise has a philosophy of sort of learning, well, especially learning on the job with this school, and also just sort of finding your own path, going out and learning different things in different ways, personalizing your education of sorts. So fairly flexible, probably more flexible than some courtier schools. Combat, they can be pretty decent at combat, and probably other stuff. A bit more flexibility than some other courtier only schools might be. So like many clans, there's a public face and a private face with the Tortoise clan. And with them, the public face is, well, barely even existent, really. Most people haven't even heard of Tortoise Clan, and if they've seen them, it'd be like maintaining and working on the walls of Otosan Uchi, the capital city. But their main job is decreed by the Emperor many years ago, hundreds of years ago probably. There was an attack from foreigners at this port, and so the Emperor's like, okay, you and also some of the foreigners who left after the attack were left here. You're a samurai clan now. You're going to be a samurai clan. You're going to be Tortoise, and you're going to run the smuggling ring as a means of sort of like baiting foreigners into doing foreign trade and visiting, so we can monitor them, basically. Like an undercover investigation kind of thing, and that's the job of the Kasuga family and their Kasuga Smuggler School, though as you might imagine, it's not like they have a sign outside any building that says, learn how to smuggle here. It's more of a on-the-job thing. There are dojos, which are sort of the face of the Tortoise clan, so I guess if you want to, play the Worldly Ronin tree that we talked about like 2 days ago, and maybe make up, maybe you're one of the people who are actually on the walls of Otosan Uchi repairing it, or whatever. Make a smith with Worldly Ronin, but your Tortoise clan, or whatever else, you want some options. Anyway, let's talk about the tree, or the school, the character class itself, Kasuga Smuggler School. First of all, their school ability is really neat. They're really good at talking, but only with certain people. People who are like low status, non-samurai and peasants, foreigners, whoever else. There's a whole list. Basically sort of low status and or non-samurai people. I guess technically samurai who are low status. Anyway, you're better at talking to these people because you're used to talking to peasants and living with peasants. You even look like peasants, right? You just got like peasant garb and also a katana or wakizashi maybe. And so some people might be like, oh no, that peasant killed a samurai and took their sword. Get him. One of the reasons they're kind of looked down on, if people even know Tortoise Clan exists, kind of looked down on because of the fraternization with the little people. Anyway, because of that fraternization, they're really good at talking to them. Their main ability though, the rank 6, is awesome. As I said, they have, per decree of the Emperor, to do special illegal stuff for the good of the Empire. And basically their endgame ability allows them to take that Imperial Decree, write it on a piece of paper, tie it around their schlong, and flop that bad boy on the table for all to see. Which is really great because after what's likely a campaign of you being looked down upon, you get to kind of turn the tables. Now, we automatically get a 3 in air. Very deception. You're a crime person, professional crime person. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying you have a automatic 3 in air, which is heavily tied to deception. And water's really important to your character. With our family, we decide, do we get a 3 in water as well? Or don't we? You'll find out very soon that that's not really much of a choice because of the way this thing is built. Okay, so first issue, the 2 shuji we get to pick from as part of a starting shuji, a talking technique. One of them, obviously water. Just by reading the name, okay, that's clearly water. But then I read the other one, and I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like air. It would have to be air. Obviously it's air, but it doesn't sound like air at all. That actually sounds more like, crap, it's earth. It's an earth technique, isn't it? Earth and water is part of our shuji, not air and water, the 2 most important to our school in general. It's not necessarily a bad thing. More balanced tree or school, whatever, but it gets bad. So basically, water is the most important thing to this person. We don't get any techniques, or barely any techniques, that are air-based as part of our curriculum or starting or whatever else. until like tier 3. Then they kind of go full bore into the air shuji and air kata and stuff like that. But tier 3, until we have any encouragement, gain any real benefits from focusing on air over other rings, when we have a 3, we have a 3 in the air ring stat. We want to make the most of it, right? But we don't get any. I mean, you can still buy air stuff, sure, but you're not going to level up as quickly, and you won't feel as encouraged to do so. And also, you really want to focus on water now and make water a 3. Could it be a 2? Sure. Could you be fine with a 2 in water? Sure, but I really want to have a 3 in something and focus on that. If the main thing I get the most help with is a 2, well then I want all of my stats to be 2 and go with the 5-2s build, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with, but it's really not built. I mean, you can't do that. You literally can't do that because you have a 3 in something. You can't get 2s and everything. So I almost feel obligated to get a 3 in water so I can make the most of my curriculum and what it all has to offer. And really, like, all they had to do is just, okay, so rank 1, we get access to, let's say, air shuji and then a specific water kata or a specific water shuji or something. Or, you know, big focus on one of those 2 and then a small focus on the other one of those 2. And then rank 2, like, we flip it. And everything else would be the same, just a little more help early on, a little more balanced approach. But we get more encouragement to focus on Earth stuff. I guess get a 2 in Earth if you want to. 3 air, 3 water, 2 Earth, if it fits your character, I guess. But don't get 2 Earth at the expense of 3 water. It's really hard not to go for a 3 water. Anyway, I really like water for combat, and there's a pretty decent water focus here. You have to get striking as water, which you're not going to get super easily. Eventually. It's worth the wait. But you don't have to wait. Anyway, striking as water is really great. Dealing with damage resistance, I love that kind of stuff in combat. And you can be a pretty decent combatant. Make sure you get martial arts, the free rank, as part of your choose 5 of, what is it, 6? Yeah, you'll probably get a free rank in a combat skill by sheer accident. And then figure out what combat skills are important to you. I could see justifying focusing on 2 of them, probably not all 3, kind of spreading yourself a little thin, and also you get them as curriculum skills at different points and not for very long, so you might wait for a certain point for a certain combat skill, and then really focus on it in that curriculum in order to level up as efficiently as possible. If you do 2 of them, I like melee and range, or melee and unarmed. If you go full unarmed, if that just really fits your character, that's fine. You get some really good help. The gap between melee and unarmed is way smaller than those 2 and range. I really don't recommend range unless halfway through the campaign you realize, oh, I need some range attacks, I need to be good with that. At which point it comes along at a pretty decent time. Another way to go, which is probably a better way to go for most people who want to keep it simple, I want to be combat person on the side, but also, like, I'm a courtier. Mostly I want to talk. So I want to be good at the talking stuff, so I want to focus on that. The most efficient way to be good at combat really early on and sort of get this stuff early and then kind of forget about it, get your free rank, get a weapon, what is it, the jite? Is that what it's called? That's like a law enforcement weapon, a sign that you're a part of it, whether civilian or samurai law enforcement, you will carry it. Kind of like how samurai carry a wakizashi, you just have it on your hip as a sign that, hey, I'm in law enforcement. That weapon in the core book, more than any other in the core book that I've seen, works really well for the Kasuga Smuggler. It just meshes well with all the different things you have, the free techniques and the rank 1 curriculum and all that. It'll make the most of what you have here. And if you do, make sure you get the rank 1 technique that meshes really well with that. And also get striking as water, maybe as soon as you can. Maybe you can wait. You might want to wait so it's more efficient, but it doesn't hurt to get it early on, and definitely go with a 3 air, 3 water for most any builds. Talking's going to be your primary thing. You can either be the compassionate person, the liar, and also for combat. Air's more defensive, which maybe you just want to not die. That's your main focus. Hit if you can, but mostly not die. I'm not a big fan of striking as air, but eventually get striking as water. You want that 3 in water if you really want to have a combat-focused, combat talker hybrid. Get that 3 in water to get striking as water. I love that for combat. That's a great one. But just those decisions, and you'll be a pretty solid combatant, and then, you know, focus mostly on your talking or whatever else. Overall, it's a pretty good school, but yeah, it just really feels like another deception-heavy, air-heavy 3-3 school. I keep running into these. Anyway, that is it for today. If you like this video and want to see more, well, you can go on my Patreon, and for $1 a month, you can get some stuff. The big thing is Sunday Thumb Day. You get access to all the videos I'm going to put out for that week and the thumbnails. And also, you get to vote on some stuff, including there's an ongoing poll. What samurai schools am I going to focus on next? You could probably guess what has a commanding lead at the moment, but we're actually going to move on to the second choice pretty soon. In order to see what those are and to help influence those, $1 a month, see the schedule, determine content. See you next time.